Hello. This is the second episode of Barely Comprehensible. If you know me, good. If you don't know me, good. As I'm recording this, I'm drinking a wonderful, truly wonderful tea. It's some garbage tear, strawberry flavored tea. And when it comes to garbage tear things, it is when some other force comes into power. Subjectivity it is. I recently had many opportunities to get myself to recognize the power of subjectivity, because it really is a power. It can cause so many conflicts, like video game discussions, when truly the most serious gamers discuss what game truly is good and what game truly is not good. And you may think that I laugh at them, that I treat them like, oh, you shouldn't discuss video games. But no, I truly understand why that is. I understand it because I also feel anger when some game is like, oh, they only did this to garner some new fans, and they don't care about us. Like, I think my biggest examples were games like, for example, Supreme Commander and Supreme Commander 2. Like, Supreme Commander 2 may be a good, well optimized and the game with some improvements, but for me it's absolutely unplayable because it's too far from what the original is. But what you need to do in those situations is to try your best to accept that, yeah, this game is not for you and there's no need to scream at your screen anymore. And yeah, Supreme Commander 2 was particularly painful for me because I loved the first game. But my whole young life I was consuming those magazines, like we in Poland had CD Action, and it was a newspaper magazine that did reviews of games, reviews, news, promotion, hardware reviews even. And their biggest advantage over other magazines was that they included a CD full of free games. They actually talked to rights holders and they managed to snag some nice games. So you bought a magazine and you got some games like Far Cry 1 or even Supreme Commander. That I know some people who got Supreme Commander that way. They bought a magazine for $4 or $3.50 in your guys' money, and they managed to get some games like Just Cause 2, a bunch of shooters. It was very a good practice that they did. It was fun while it lasted. Now it's different. But yeah, well, if you consume this magazine, you read a lot of reviews. You, even if you didn't play those games, you read a review and you adapt the viewpoint of the reviewer as your own. Like, it happens subconsciously very often. So it's not your fault. You are not dumb for being like this. It's just how the human brain works. Or at least that is what I say to myself. But when you subconsciously adapt views of another person as your own, you can also get angry at people whose opinions differ from your own. And I'm using video games because I think that is a subject that will, it will be easiest to comprehend by the biggest amount of people. But yeah, it is very, very easy to adapt views of other people. Like, for example, if you watch a lot of red letter media, you will have views about other movies that you never watched. That, oh yeah, that movie is horrible, but it has heart and it's so bad it's funny. But did you watch it? No. And I've been there too. Been there a lot of times. So I'm not really that smarter. I just have a lot of time to think about garbage. Let me take a sip of my wonderful tea. And like this tea, it's really cheap. It can be sewer grade, but it just tastes good for me. I noticed that there's a lot of sewer grade tea that I drink because it tastes great to me. I hope it doesn't give me cancer, but but yeah, there are just like, it is so easy to get angry at a person who likes a thing you that you think is garbage, or the other way around. Like if you enjoy a story, or if you enjoy a game or a piece of art, and there will be people who have a lot of arguments against it, and they will get angry at you for liking it, or you will get angry looking at their takedowns of the things that you love, or the worst case scenario, that you will adapt their views. That happened to me too. Like, you love something but you don't have any strong feelings about it, and you see a lot of media or people shit talking the thing that you mildly enjoyed, and then you will suddenly stop enjoying that thing. It will just, your mindset will change, and it will be like fully not by your decision. Isn't that horrifying? If your opinion on a piece of media or anything really is not strong enough, you can be influenced. You can just change your mind, and it will be based on only words and not experiences. It's a very weird thing to think about, and I don't know how I feel about it. That's why I talk about it. It's not a subject that my mind is set on. So this episode may be much more chaotic. I hope I don't repeat myself too many times. But yeah, the power of influence when it comes to things that you can like, for example, it's huge, and it's a very weird. You like all those memes return to monkey start making sense, because I think that's a very monkey brain thing to do. To listen to, oh yes, the elder of the monkey tribe said that this thing I mildly enjoy, not that much, only mildly, is bad. Now I also think that it is bad, or at least I do not mildly enjoy it anymore. It's a very monkey brain thing to say. Let me think. And I think I had some things that I stopped enjoying. There were videos of people that I stopped enjoying because of the conversation I had, and I really didn't have arguments for that. Like, for example, there is this YouTuber, I think it was Donkey, and like, he puts a lot of effort into his videos, but the views that he expressed in some reviews were very divisive to some people, and they started calling him different names, let's say. And I liked the videos of Donkey, they were entertaining, but those people who were ranting about his opinions were enough to stop me from watching him for a while and actually influence my opinion of him. Like, I started thinking, oh, Donkey, his opinions are shit. But that's not true. I never felt that, really. It wasn't my experience. That was the point. It was not my experience. It was some other dudes, random dudes, not even my friends. some random dudes who started talking shit, and that was enough to influence my mind. Like, I think the quote of this episode will be, "Isn't that terrifying?" Because I keep saying that, but that's how I truly feel. That it's just a very weird thing to realize how easily influenced on some like things you can be. As I'm talking to you guys, I'm drawing hammers on a piece of paper for some reason. Maybe I should publish later, as I finish the episode, on the end card, the drawing of the episode, because for some, like, I'm changing the subject because I think I've run out. I've run this drive, and if I think up some more about it, I will add it to this episode. But for now, I will just tell you guys what I'm doing when I'm recording. Like, I realized that talking to yourself is not that easy, and it would be way harder if I was just looking into the screen, into my waveform of my voice as I speak. So I'm drawing things on a piece of paper, and it's like a chaotic drawing. Yesterday, or like 2 days ago, when I recorded the first episode for you guys, I drew a bunch of straight lines on a piece of paper, but now I'm drawing hammers, and there's nothing really influencing that. I'm just doing that. It's very, very weird. Like the subject I chose for this episode, because that was a thing that was on my mind for a long time. But perhaps it wasn't as strong as the first topic, because I feel that it was way more chaotic than the previous one. The run you are looking at was a pretty good run of Noita I had, and I split it into two, so I can have more footage without recording it. I think I'm derailing myself a lot, so let's come back to the subjectivity thing. I had a big reverse, a positive thing about subjectivity. Let me take a sip. Is that you can be pleasantly surprised. For example, and that will piss off some people, Resident Evil 6 was a universally disliked game because it has no elements of Resident Evil in it. The inventory management is very crappy. There aren't many like riddles or puzzles to solve. They are just action, explosions, fighting, and you can move while shooting. That was a thing that pissed a lot of people off. And for the longest time, I just adapted their opinion. That, oh, the Resident Evil 6 is a bad game, so I will not play it. And recently I had an opportunity to play Resident Evil 2 Remake. That was the first Resident Evil game I ever played. It was a very high quality experience. But I noticed that the gameplay loop is not at all interesting to me. Like walking around, doing puzzles, it's just not for me. I'm more of a killer gamer. I just like to shoot and destroy things, and it turns out that Resident Evil 6 was just a game for me, and it was actually one of the most pleasant gameplay experiences I had in 2020, playing Resident Evil 6 with my friend. The plot was just so great. It was so dumb, but it was directed. The cutscenes were directed in such a manner that it didn't matter. It was just insane and great fun. And it was 100. It was a 100% positive experience. Of course, it was tiresome because the action is so intense, so intense that like we could play 2 missions and then we needed to take a break because it was just too much. But every time we came back to it, it was just a great experience. And I would like you guys to think about some like video game experiences that that the games that were shot on by gaming journalists or YouTubers or just like communities in general, but you had great fun in it, and it like was a nice experience. That this thing that multiple people tell me not to do, I still did it, and it was just fun. It was just for me, like those holes in a stone wall. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, that's no problem. But yeah, Resident Evil 6, that was my experience that made me think about subjectivity as a subject. English is very weird because subjectivity in the world of subjects are not at all related in my language. But yeah, I'm really curious about your guys' thoughts about this. And thank you for listening to my ramble. Have a nice day.